Charlie Duff.
Wait, one more thing.
Yeah.
When I left Fox TV,
Yeah.
they don't know this. I was going to be your road guy.
I know.
The video guy. And Fox TV, remember everything happened at Fox and they took over the news for a while?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let me work with you?
Yeah. I don't know. Look, I'm not privy to all the details.
I still had to,
but I think somebody out in affiliate land, like the word got around, and I don't want to blow anyone's mind, that maybe Charlie Duff isn't entirely controllable.
Hey, folks, what do you want out there? Controllable? No. I'm a good employee. I'm a good person. But you can't have my mind. Oh, and you owe me dinner because Joe Biden did make it to the general election. You said he was going to die.
It was so stupid.
I know. So where are we going?
I gotta work.
I'll drink for both of us.
The name is Charlie Duff. You won't forget it if you've come this far. Tucker Carlson today is the name of the show. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Fox Nation. We'll see you every weekday at 8 p.m. on Fox News Channel.
Let's just breaking news. Dub or bullshit. Dub or bullshit.
No bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Hey, am I nominated for one of the best podcasts in Detroit?
No, and frankly, you should be. Seriously.
Thank you. We'll put that on. I should be. Are you? You and Drew?
Me? I'm not. Drew and Mike's show is.
God. Who else?
Shows I've never heard of.
That's
but
right.
They're all wonderful.
Yeah, but you want to know, like, the no bullshit news hour. You know what we have today? Dan Miller, the voice of the Detroit Lions. Talking Super Bowl, Matt Stafford, what's going on with the Miami Dolphins, the whole shebang. Love the dude. Thanks for being here, Dan. Dan.
It's good to be here.
Unmute yourself, Dan.
There he is.
Fuck is? I will fix it in post. And to my right, the Aztec goddess here, Isabel Jones, will work as the interpreter today, as we call Issam Bazi, the man on the terror watch list who was let in and given a bus ticket to Dearborn, where he's waiting for his asylum hearing. He will speak to us. I spoke to him this week. His his español is muy sofisticado. Here,
Get right on that mic, yeah.
turn that up, man. We'll fix that.
Try it again. No, we won't.
Una otra vez?
I had too much to fix.
Es algo por ahí. Sí, ya lo escuché hoy.
Okay, thanks for being here, girl. All right. Okay, now I want to let you know, before we get into all that the No Bullshit News Hour is brought to you by Luke Nowacki at Royal Alliance Associates, Inc. Maybe you know any big-time city officials?
No,
No, that means you have to work.
de verdad.
Verdad, and you have to save.
Sí.
And you have to make good, sound investments so you can become an old lady and not have to eat dog food in one of these nursing homes.
Exactamente.
Okay, so you know what you should do?
¿Qué?
Llama Luke Nowacki.
Muy bien.
Okay, his number is 248-663-4748. 248-663-4748.
Muy bien, lo voy a
Okay,
apuntar.
for sound financial advice. Here, look, take a look.
Sí, lo veo.
What do you do for a living?
Ahorita estoy en la casa.
Oh, you work in the house.
Yes. I'm a house mom right now.
¿Tiene un esposo?
No.
Oh, single mom working at home.
Sí.
Okay, you're working here now. The official voice in Español of the No Bullshit News Hour,
Gracias.
Isabel Jones. Call Luke Nowacki.
Muy bien.
Okay, you
Perfecto.
got kids?
Uno.
¿Cuántos años?
12 años. Una niña.
¿Niña en universidad o no?
No, está en la escuela.
Okay, in the escuela. Okay, so you want to send her to university.
Sí, sí.
You're going to need the dinero, girl.
Sí, claro.
You can't just guess.
Definitivamente.
Okay, all right. Luke Nowacki. Also, if you need to get something done around the house, you having problem. What city you live in?
Southfield.
Southfield. You got problems with the city?
No creo. I don't think so.
Okay, if you do, you know, of the roads in Southfield are bullshit.
Muy malos.
Muy terrible.
That's why I was
Awful.
a little bit late because the snow wasn't even cleared off my parking lot.
What?
I had to put salt from a box that I found on the side.
Here, right here. This is here, right here. Right here. You're gonna call ADR consultants, the ones you call when you need to get something done right, on time, on budget. The city's not plowing. The
Sí,
roads are a mess, right?
sí,
And the city doesn't listen to you.
right.
Okay, you have business.
Not yet.
No, let's say after you call Luke Nowak and you have a new business.
Oh, muy bien. Muy bien.
And the streets tore up and you can't get it shoveled, what do? You call ADR, Barry Elituck at 248-318-9424. Now, he works big contracts and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's a friend of the show.
Oh.
So when it's smaller things, small business people, give him a call, 248-318-9424, because he's smart, ¿cómo se dice en español?
Inteligente,
Ethical,
apropiable.
ethicals. Okay. I didn't get it correct.
Wait, why are you correcting the translator? You speak way better Spanish than you even let on.
Yep.
That was really poorly spoken in English by myself. But
See, we got a saying in the Latino world.
see,
You know what it is?
okay.
We don't die, we multiply.
Ándale, pues.
Ondele, motherfucker. Okay, but first, the news. Pure hypocrisy. Governor Gretchen Whitmer loves to travel. Never mind if it's in the middle of a COVID surge. She did it for Biden's inauguration on a private jet. She did it to see her sick father in Florida on a private jet. And now there is the Golden State Gate.
Oh, jeez.
It turns out Madam Governor took a campaign fundraising swing to California last November as Michigan was leading the country in COVID cases and deaths. You may remember because we told you, right? Mm-hmm. Remember?
Yeah, when I tell the story, I thought it was old news.
It was old news because this is the No Bullshit News Hour. Again, our sources are impeccable. And when we get it wrong, we fix it. We don't delete it. Go ahead. Can you do sign language too?
No, no sé.
Can you?
Yeah, I can't watch this.
No digas eso.
That means cool.
Oh.
Yeah, I got that one. Okay. And this one? You may remember that was when President Biden was in Detroit hyping the opening of General Motors' new electric vehicle plant in Hamtramck with GM CEO Mary Barra. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
You know, we helped pay for that plant, by the way. Where was Gretch, everyone was asking? Where was Gretch? Mm-hmm. When the leader of the free world is right in your backyard.
Very odd.
Now, according to recently filed campaign finance statements, Whitmer made a 3-day, 5-stop trip from Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, to San Francisco, to the Silicon Valley, pulling in, guess, ¿cuántos?
2023, 550.
No, 200,000.
200,000, perdón.
23.
Sí.
$223,550 in cash. Man, on top of that, all the trouble she's got going on, right? The number of COVID victims in Michigan's nursing homes remains a mystery. The official count's incredibly low. You heard about that?
Sí.
It's horrible. While her health director delivers tortured polemics about who's actually constituting a nursing home resident. Ridiculous. You'd expect Whitmer to have serious problems come this November, right? Mm-hmm. Except, the Republican field is choked with a gaggle of earnest no-names, corporate crazies, and political Lilliputians. Mm-hmm. Not the least of which, next piece, give me the beep, beep, beep. Next piece. Karen, your take on Governor Whitmer jumping out of town, raising money, gallivanting around while we're red hot and smoking to death with COVID.
Well, I mean, Charlie, it's nothing new. I mean, she's been pretty hands off, pretty disconnected from the realities that we've been wrestling with as residents of the state. So her activities have been a reflection of her priorities since day one. So I don't think anybody should be surprised.
Is that hypocrisy? I'm looking at Boris Johnson throwing parties at 10 Downing Street.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at Trudeau running away and hiding, saying, I've got COVID, even though
From the truckers, yeah.
yeah, he's got the booster and the double shots and everything, and he can't understand what the truckers are saying. Or Gavin Newsom partying at Staples Center with his mask off,
Yeah.
or at SoFi or wherever he was.
Or a long time ago.
Then he held his breath.
I mean, look, it's to the point, and again, I told you, I voted for Whitmer before, but I'm a citizen. It stinks. The message stinks. Am I wrong?
No, it's not a good look.
And you're a libtard.
What? Hey.
You're a libtard, and it's okay to say that.
Yeah.
I'm an
I'm
independent.
not gonna back them when they do stupid stuff, though. Fuck them.
I don't get it. So, okay, to be fair now. Okay, that's on one side. Holy smokes. Ex-chief of police James Craig, you know, he's running for the Republican nomination for governor. He's got some mansplaining to do. Okay, give me the music. Breaking news. You all may remember, first told here in the No Bullshit News Hour, Detroit Police Lieutenant Willie Duncan was charged last August for raping a fellow officer. So why is he still listed as being on the job, according to the federal official employment documents with the city?
Wow.
Okay,
Why?
worse, how was Duncan allowed to stay on the job after the first female officer accused him of rape in 2018? That investigation was ultimately closed, but it should have signaled the foghorn to his superiors who are running this department into the rocks. Duncan had, at that time, over the past 15 years, discharged his service weapon 4 times. Most cops don't ever fire it at all. And he had more than 80 abuse claims filed by citizens of Detroit, and the average Detroit cop has 8, according to Ross Jones at WXYZ, a very good reporter. Duncan also had been reprimanded on numerous occasions for his lack of professionalism and his abusive attitude towards citizens. Not me, the official dossier of the Detroit Police Department. Again, according to that dossier, Duncan's files should have shown any competent commanding officer everything he or she needed to know. So why was Duncan, get ready for this, why was Duncan promoted to a prestigious assignment by Chief James Craig just months after the first rape investigation was closed? That's unbelievable. What's more, the feds are said to be investigating Duncan's behavior in that assignment. So, you're going to run on the record of the police department, sir, and anybody that knows, and almost nobody does because the Lansing people don't bother getting dirty.
Yeah, hopefully someone will ask him.
And too many Detroit media were giving the guy a pass so he'd come and do a cooking show, or show up to your give away. You know, Santa pulls somebody over and gives them $100. When we're talking about crime and children, right, and police leaving the force in droves, and the fake crime numbers. Oh, this is going to be a wing-ding. Keep it here. Right. Now, you would figure, a little more breaking news here. Thank you. Breaking news.
Like the NBC Nightly News where everything's breaking.
You would think with all this going on and everything we're doing down here, checking out, that we would get an investigation into some of this stuff from Attorney General Dana Ness, right?
Right.
80 old people dying in the nursing homes. Can you take a look at that for us?
Exactly.
Apparently everybody's arguing if it's true or not.
Right.
That's what the Attorney General's for.
Exactly.
Oh, we got the police department with a bunch of abusive people, right? Raping fellow officers.
Right.
We need investigation.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get that because it's Dana Nessel.
Ándale.
Thank you. The legal geniuses at the Attorney General Dana Nessel's office have a major mess on their hands in the Flint water case, the criminal part of it.
Sí.
Genesee County Circuit Court Judge Elizabeth Kelly earlier this month reaffirmed her November order about screening documents that could prove extremely costly to the state and seriously delay court proceedings that have been dragging on for years now. At issue, follow me, folks, this is big. Follow me, Flint. Here's the issue. Nessel's Solicitor General, Fadwa Hamoud, did not use a tank team when her office subpoenaed documents and passed them around to prosecutors and defense lawyers. You want to know what a tank team is, don't you?
Sí.
A tank team is a third party that pours through the documents, making sure they're not part of confidential communications between lawyers and their clients. Attorney-client privilege. She took them anyway. Started giving them out. Like you have to have somebody say you can't use that. Uh-oh. That's like American jurisprudence to its core. Judge Kelly first ruled last November that Hamoud's prosecutors must go back, dig this, they got to go back and review nearly 20 million documents with the taint team.
Who pays for that?
I'm going to get to that, bro. Now, Hamoud argues that it would take years to do that, years, and tens of millions of dollars, maybe 48 million to be precise. Nesso's office on Tuesday filed a quiet motion asking Judge Kelly to put on hold the taint team order while it appeals her ruling in the Court of Appeals. So, Judge, do me a favor. Put a stay on this while I challenge you in the next court. Wow. Put all this together. Last month, investigative reporter Jordan Cheriton and I reported in the Guardian newspaper that Nesso's team decided not to pursue financial racketeering charges against the architects of the Flint water scandal that they had inherited from her predecessors. You know what they say? Justice delayed is justice delayed.
Exactly.
Oh, Christ. Karen?
Yes.
Your expert analysis, please.
You know, Charlie, I wish I could make sense of it, but as we've talked about prior, it makes no sense. I mean, it absolutely makes no sense. It's kicking the can, and it's a disservice to the people in Flint and the state of Michigan.
Well, guys, look at that.
I know, so concise.
Look at that.
I don't know what else to say. I mean, we can drag it out, but you have been sharing, even Jordan coming on the show. I mean, you've been talking about the facts for so long. I mean, even from the days of from Flood and Andy Arena. I mean, all this stuff. This isn't anything new, but it's okay for them to ignore the fact that this is not being resolved.
Okay, and you know what that makes me think of? You want to know the difference between us and like somebody like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has people on, and he's guessing at stuff. Hey, let's have a talk. He doesn't know stuff. I don't know if there's another podcast out there of any size that does its own work.
Yeah, you do a lot of good work.
We're trying to do the work. Dan Miller, I worked with Dan for many years. I used to put this crap on Fox too. Okay, fine, Dan. I'd be in my underpants while I did it, but that's just a modern world.
Don't call it crap.
Look at me, I'm talking numbers in my underpants. And then the boss would always tell me, people don't understand numbers. I said, they do. $20 million minus $10 million is not $0 million. Exactly. Once again, 20 minus 10 is not 0. Wee. People aren't dumb.
No. Management always thinks listeners and viewers are not the smartest.
Well, they're very smart, and that's why they listen to Dan Miller.
Yeah.
On Lions Network Radio.
Lions Radio Network.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Is it 97.1 again?
Yeah. 97.1, new flagship, first year we just finished.
Yeah.
And how'd it go?
It's great. It's great. They know what they're doing. They have the Pistons, they have the Wings, they have the Tigers. This is what they do. So, look, I've been blessed in that the flagship stations that I've worked with, from WJR to 97.1, they've all been great. They've treated me great. So I have not a complaint in the world.
That's great. Mute him. Look at this. We're doing commercials.
I know that doesn't fit in with what you're looking for, Charlie.
We're on the screen here, bro.
Who does sports in the middle of breaking news?
Charlie's like, come on, man. You got to have a problem with your employer. Tell them how it is.
I'm a good employee, but you can't have my mind.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of which, we a little update on Snowmageddon. This exclusive report by the NBN.
We interrupt this insightful reporting to bring
Chief
you breaking
Meteorologist
news from
James
the
Harvey.
NBN Weather Authority.
Metro Detroit area can expect an Arctic snap across the region next week, where temperatures are going to be dropping to freezing levels. So you might want to break out the hot chocolate and the marshmallows. Ha ha ha! It's going to be cool, man. Cool.
I don't know. Maybe that's not so great, but he didn't call 15 inches. I'm going to tell you that right now. Oh, more breaking news. Nickeled and dimed and quartered to death. Karen, why must Detroit cops run back and forth when making a stop to make sure they don't get ticketed by parking enforcement for expired meters or double parking?
That's a good question, Charlie.
Well,
I never knew or imagined that, especially over the years. I've seen police vehicles park in spaces that the average person could not park into. I never knew that they were ticketed. That must be something new, revenue generation.
What
I don't
the
know.
fuck? Why
That's
is Mayor
crazy.
Mike Duggan having cops with unmarked or undercover cars ticketed?
I've
Why is
never
he
heard of
making
that,
them
Charlie.
pay? You're hearing it now. Why are they having to pay out of their own pockets? Why does the city tow these cars with multiple unpaid tickets when we need all the cops on the street we can get? Why can't a cop park, get a sandwich, tinkle, wash his hands without being worried that he's going to be soaked by the city? Why nickel and dime the police? Detroit has enough problems retaining police officers after we nickeled and dimed them into bankruptcy. The city has enough problems with crime and not enough cops to fight it. The $45 parking ticket is bad for morale and it's bad for the digestion.
They get to use the new app that everybody's complaining about.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe they have to pay for it themselves out of their own pockets. That sounds like one department not talking to another department.
Well, and
No,
again,
that makes no sense, Mark. I don't care. That's not even a department talking to another department. In terms of administering a ticket, that's like, okay, can another police officer pull over another police officer and give him a speeding ticket from the? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
now I thought the cops were the law. I know there's people out there like, fucking cops should obey the law like everybody else. You're right. But then again, look, I mean, I'm going to drive around looking for a parking spot. You know, I'm trying to get some lunch. Don't you want them to be quick, Johnny on the spot?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's
Doesn't make any sense.
It's a mess. It's a mess. Don't believe the crap you're being fed. What?
The parking department is an enterprise department. And so, maybe this is just another means of generating revenue, but you're recycling dollars because you're extracting them from the city. They still get a portion of their budget from there as well.
I never heard that. What does that term mean? Enterprise department.
That means that they generate revenue that they keep within their department.
Oh, so it's a benefit to the management to do so.
Oh.
Yeah, but that makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense, not only from a protection standpoint, like Charlie said, if they're running into American Coney Island to grab a bite to eat, if they get a call, they need to be able to quickly depart and respond to the call. They don't need to walk 2 or 3 blocks.
Yeah.
Do they get a boot on their car if they don't pay? I mean, this is like a segment from Saturday Night Live or something. It makes no sense.
Es ridículo. ¿Es okay si yo fumo? No?
No es bueno.
Oh, fucking shit. No es bueno. Okay, and finally, wait for this one. The interim fire commissioner, Chuck Sims, in Detroit, must be a climate denier. He must be. You know why? Because somehow the commish must not believe that the banks of the Detroit River freeze over in the winter only to break into slabs of frozen concrete. We got the picture? Yep. But here sits the fireboat, tied to its cleats, exposed to the ice and elements, about to sink. Another few weeks on the water, and the hull of the Curtis Randolph is going to crush in on itself like a cheap can of beer. City Hall should order it dry docked and stored for the winter. If the mayor can't find the funds, just use those parking ticket dollars you got from the cops. Come on, Michigan, with the leadership like this, no wonder so many people are renting a one-way U-Haul out of here.
Right.
Yeah, right?
Right.
Are you going? I'm not going.
Not now.
I love this place.
It's not time for me.
What do you mean?
There's a time for people to transport to wherever they're called.
That's true. There is a time and a place for all of God's creatures to go where they're called. And I'd like to dedicate today's show to Mark's kitty, Ashley, who's walked on to the great farm in the sky.
They're trying to make me cry.
No,
it does hurt you, doesn't it?
I got to tell you, way more than I ever thought it would, putting down a pet. 17 years old. 17 years. Saw her every day, and now she's not in the house. It sucks.
Mira los ojos.
¿Tienes fotos?
My eyes?
No tienes
No
fotos?
tease?
Do you have pictures?
Oh, I have lots of pictures, yeah.
He's going to cry.
Just
I don't want to.
Put one up. Put one up of the
Just
kitty,
look
man.
at the kitty from the photos and think about
Oh, she has wings.
Oh, Rainbow Bridge.
Think about the good
I
times
love
you
her,
had
man.
with her.
I know.
All right, this is dedicated to Ashley.
Thank you.
A little something at the end for the friends and family and all the well wishers for Ashley.
I appreciate it.
She's on to her 10th life.
I know.
Charlie.
She's a good old fat cat. I love her.
What?
Yeah, that's never mind. Carry on.
Okay, so the rant's over. Should we have a new Super Bowl commercial? Should we save it
I don't know. It's
for
pretty
Dan
good.
Miller's prediction, or should we use it to introduce Dan?
I think we should use it to introduce Dan because I want his opinion on it.
Okay, how do we set this up?
He might hang up and leave.
No, it's a good spot.
We're gonna okay. You come on downtown to Michigan and Lafayette, eat in person. Hey, coppers, if I'm working that day, I'll even wash your car. All right, I'll watch it and wash it.
Who's paying for it?
Respect to the badge. I got it.
I know.
I got it, man. No, not everybody cheap like that, dude. Having said that, if you want to get a Coney kit to the Super Bowl to your house tomorrow, Saturday by 9 p.m., go to AmericanConeyIsland.com. Here's what it's all about. Let's roll this.
2 with everything. A side of cheese fries to go. Ready, set, go, Red, go.
Detroit might not make it to the championships, but you can have a little bit of Detroit at your next championship party. American Coney Island, 12 dogs with all the fixings. Airmail special, right to your door. That includes Alaska and Hawaii. AmericanConeyIsland.com. The first, the best, and better than all the rest. And they can't fly either. Yeah, baby, I'm going to Vegas. They got a Coney store there too. Yeah.
Dan is shaking his head.
I think it was well done, man.
You got nothing.
Is that the most Reds run? He was running for a while there.
I got to be honest with you. Just that little bit, right? That 30 seconds of red
Yeah.
running. I thought he was going to have a coronary.
Oh, please don't
Go out
say
there,
that.
he go, man. He go, man.
I don't have to-
I'm a sedentary pot smoker.
I don't have to put down Red this week, too, from his heart problems.
Anyway, I want to welcome in.
Stop
What?
with the negativity. Don't say that. Don't put it in the universe.
What? Yeah, put it on my Facebook page.
Okay.
I'm going to welcome in Dan Miller, just a great all-around guy, just a 5-0 guy, voice of the Detroit Lions. 97.1 The Ticket is the flagship station. Unless you're in the thumb, then I think you got to do 97.7. It kind of moves around. But, and he's also the, what you sports director at Fox 2, Dan?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Man, me and you, we go back. I miss the times in the
Long
office
way.
throwing that ball around. You know,
I do too, Charlie. It was always fun when you would come back there and we'd talk about life or whatever else was going on, and you'd update us on whatever story you had, and it turned into a wild story normally. But it's good to see you. Good to see Karen, who always is the voice of reason. Mark, good to see you.
Thanks, Dan.
So let's get to it, brother. Like we sat. I first got to Detroit in 2008. The Ofer bankruptcy, market collapses. The Lions go 0-16. Fast forward, Stafford is in the Super Bowl. Man, I mean, put that career in perspective.
From my perspective, bittersweet, because having called every one of the snaps of his career up until this point, I certainly had, dreams that I would be able to call a Super Bowl with Matthew in it, wearing a Detroit Lions uniform. That didn't work out. The Rams bet on him. They backed him up with a lot of talent around him, which I think is something that didn't necessarily happen here. And that's something I'm sure we'll talk about. But they've put it together, and now they're on the brink of having made a trade that might be, one of the final pieces that gets them there. But this is something, Charlie, I never had a doubt that Matthew could do. I just think you needed to have the supporting cast around him to allow him to execute the way that he needs to and to get to this point. I'm not shocked that Matthew Stafford is going to the Super Bowl. And I think everybody wants absolutes when it comes to Matthew Stafford. They tried to have that when he was here. And I think what we found out was that there really in sports aren't many absolutes. And there's not one with Matthew Stafford either.
Well, that's why we like sports. It's the one place in life you cannot lie, is the sporting field. You know, I always thought he was a high talent guy, a high character guy. He didn't bitch. He didn't complain. He showed up to work. And I think he shouldered too much of the burden of Detroit losing so long. I know he was reckless with the ball. There'd be inopportune times. He was trying to do too much. I think.
No, I agree with that. And I think one of the things that he had working against him in Detroit was the fact that, and look, I said for years, and I've said it publicly, less Matthew Stafford would be a better Matthew Stafford. Because you're right. It did often come down to him trying to drag the team along when he didn't have the same amount of talent as another premier team on the other side of the line of scrimmage, be it offense, defense, special teams, whatever it was. And he didn't have much room for error. And oftentimes, if Matthew Stafford made a mistake, that meant that the Detroit Lions weren't going to win. And this isn't breaking news. This isn't some sort of hot take. That's why they went through Martin Mayhew and Bob Quinn and now have Brad Holmes and went through, Jim Schwartz to Jim Caldwell to Matt Patricia and now on to Dan Campbell. I mean, those things back up what we're saying, that the team wasn't good enough. I think there are certainly days where Matthew Stafford wasn't good enough. But more so, I think the onus was on the organization to build a better team around him, and that just never happened in a consistent manner.
Dan, can I ask you a question? I mean, and we hear this often. I mean, should the Lions be sold? Can it go back to ownership and their unwillingness to invest in creating a winning team? Because losing is now part of the Lions brand.
I can't wait for the voice of the Lions to tell me this.
Has been done wrong by management. It is that they have entrusted the wrong people for too long. Matt Millen, probably the number one example of that. But look, when Bob Quinn was hired, everybody jumped up and down and said, that's the next guy. That's a good hire. When Matt Patricia was hired, people thought he was ready to become a head coach. When Jim Schwartz was hired, people thought that he was on the brink of becoming a good head coach. And he did some good things here. But Jim Caldwell was a high quality guy who had been to a Super Bowl as a head coach. So I think things haven't lined up for him, Karen, but I think other than Millen, a lot of the moves that they've made have been the right ones. Certainly, probably now in retrospect, keeping Quinn and Patricia for the extra year wasn't the right way to go because it set the team back in terms of the way that they drafted and the way that they built the team. But I'm not a believer in that. If they were meddlesome, if they were people that got in there and tried to direct their football people on how to make decisions, I would be much more willing to put the blame on them. But I've been close to it. They don't do that. They entrust their football people to make football decisions. It's just they haven't found the right people to make the right decisions often enough to this point.
He never really reached big expectations here, and I think that's because he was the number one overall draft pick. You just expect that guy to win Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl. If he wins the Super Bowl, do we start talking about Hall of Fame? Is this a Hall of Fame career?
Yeah, I think it is, Mark. I'll just cut right to the chase because his numbers were already there.
He's going to need two, Dan. He's going to need two. You're right. Like his numbers are outstanding.
His numbers are already there. If you look at his numbers, he's the first to 40,000, 50,000, all these different numbers, whatever they are. I don't know exactly, but they're there because I've talked about them before. And we used to talk about him during games. Hey, that puts Stafford to X. He's the fastest quarterback to X. Look, the numbers were tracking in that direction already. And if you add a Super Bowl to that resume, I really think he's right on the brink. And Charlie, whatever, if he gets two, it's game over.
I would say it gets an Eli Manning deal. But if you just look at, because of the 12 years with the Lions, I'm just more or less his.
Well, let me say
75 and 90 is what I'm saying.
With somebody the other day. Remember, if he ends on a high note with the Rams, that's what will be most recent in people's mind. There will be a recency bias of what he did with Los Angeles more so than what happened in Detroit. Not that it won't be talked about, not that it won't be part of the record, because it is. But if you're asking me, the answer to Mark's question is, yeah, I believe if he wins a Super Bowl, he will go to the Hall of Fame because the numbers are there. And I'm also assuming he's probably going to put in a couple more years of adding to the numbers that he already has, yards, touchdowns, all those things. And when all is said and done, if you add a Super Bowl title to that resume, it's going to look really good.
Well, I'm from Detroit. I know how people talk. So it goes like this. Well, Goff took the Rams to the Super Bowl too, and then look at him with the Lions. So is it a matter of the talent he now has, or is it his talent himself?
I think, Charlie, both can be correct. Both can be correct.
Fans
that
get
you need a
mad.
certain amount of talent to win a Super Bowl, and you need a certain amount of talent around you to win a Super Bowl. Now, look, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl, okay?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that Trent Dilfer is a Super Bowl quarterback or a Hall of Fame quarterback. He doesn't have Hall of Fame numbers. He doesn't have a Hall of Fame career. He had one of the greatest defenses of all time behind him in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nuanced conversation where you can't just say, okay, you're crowning him a Hall of Famer because he won a Super Bowl. No, I'm saying he would be a Hall of Famer because, yes, he won a Super Bowl to cap it off, but his numbers were already tracking in that direction. And to your point, look, there's no doubt that when you put him in Los Angeles with a head coach who's a heck of an offensive coach and play caller, a Hall of Fame laden defense with 3 Hall of Famers on it and other all pros, that you put him in a better situation than he was in Detroit. Best situation he had in Detroit was 2014 when they had a historically good defense. Unfortunately, they also had an offense that was led by an offensive coordinator who got fired 8 games into the next season, or midway through the next season, in Joe Lombardi. It didn't work. They jumped up 14-0 against Dallas in a playoff game and scored 6 points the rest of the way. So the stars have to align. It's not just about one player, but it's about things falling into place. And if you go back and look at some of these Rams games recently, Stafford has made some mistakes. I mean, he's been really good in the playoffs, but even towards the end of the regular season and in the regular season, there were times where he made mistakes that would have killed him in Detroit because he didn't have a defense to back him up and get him the ball back without maximum damage being done. And that's what he's got in Los Angeles. This is,
I'll tell you
me, but let me just finish this. To me, what I would say is this. This is less about saying Matthew Stafford is X than it is about saying, here's how you support a quarterback and here's how you build a team that's capable of winning a Super Bowl.
Well, that's true. And the greatest quarterback in Los Angeles Rams history, okay, not St. Louis Rams, is Warren Beatty. Heaven Can Wait. What a movie.
We're going to go Roman Gabriel and go back somewhere there.
I thought that wasn't his name Roman Gabriel in the damn picture?
No.
Go watch that. It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Still holds up, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of get to the Super Bowl, got there, didn't win it. Jim Harbaugh coming back to Michigan. Your take, I guess the question is, he was out of here, but the Vikings didn't want him. Is that how you're seeing it?
I don't know that that's actually the truth. There seems to be, I know everybody's claiming they have breaking news on this. I'm not sure that's true. I think they got pretty far down the road. And, whether or not there was a firm offer in writing on the table, it seems like they got pretty far down the road. I will tell you that when we were at the Senior Bowl, we were told, and I'm using we because it was actually told to my cameraman that we're told that he turned the job down. Now, I don't know if that's true, but this came from somebody that would know what's going on with the Vikings.
Okay.
I don't have a second person to back that up, but I will just tell you there seems to be enough out there with everybody claiming that they have the story that I don't know whether it was true or not. But you know what? In the end, what are we really talking about here? Why are people so wrapped up in whether or not he got offered the job?
Right.
Why are some people wrapped up in whether or not he went and looked at possibly taking another job? I think this is, we're so full of phony indignation in the sports world
Schadenfreude.
that it's just crazy. It's
and we want everybody to get hurt.
How many people that are claiming that it's BS that he went and looked for another job have never went and looked for another job themselves, have never thought, I might look really good over there, but it didn't work out, so they stayed where they were.
Let me make a declaration. I was thinking about all this, about, sports, sports TV, sports radio, driving what sports are, especially college sports. It's getting ruined. Because look at this. Jim Harbaugh is good for Michigan. I like Jim Harbaugh. They're no guns in the dorm rooms. They raise fine young men. They go off and they do stuff, right? He's got 4 seasons with 10 wins. He finally got his thing over the top. Now when Jim's going to go, what do we turn into? My university. This carousel of like, we tried it with Rich Rod. I like the guy's character. I like the stability. We've won 2 championships since 1948. It's not like we win championships. We're just good, and it's a good place to be. Go ahead, bro. Am I wrong?
No, I think you can question what he has done since he's been there on the field in terms of wins.
Sure.
1 victory against Ohio State isn't what anybody had in mind since he's been there.
It could have been 3.
To your point, could have
been 3.
Could have. You know, if you get a better spot, maybe you had a critical win there, and that season becomes much bigger. But look, to your point, he does do things the right way. He does keep his kids in line. It's not like you feel like, you know, they're running the wild, wild west out there. So I think there are a lot of things to like. But, you know, look, we're a winning and losing society. We look at whether you win big games or lose big games. And until this year, he hadn't won enough big games. Now he's done it. I just think a lot of the gnashing of teeth and people pounding their fists and being angry about this stuff, it's unfortunately, I think, where we've gone as a business. And I think it's, you know,
business.
This idea that we have to argue and then we have to yell and we have to plant our flag and then we have to have some hot take. I think it grinds you down, man, because there's nuance to this stuff. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be somewhere in between. And I think too often we fail to acquiesce to that because we want to have the hot take to let people know how angry we are about a situation. I mean, there's less enjoyment of sports now and more anger about sports than there ever has been.
You know what makes me angry is like Mark wants to, you say something, he gets fired up, his eyes start flashing, his hand goes up, and he doesn't say shit.
I wanted Dan to finish. Okay, here's my hot take. I got a hot take
He's
for
not
you.
Jesus.
I got a hot take. I still maintain that Miami, the Dolphins, were a bit of a wild card for Harbaugh with the Ross connection there. Plus, it's Florida, no tax. I mean, there's a lot to like about Miami. And then the Brian Flores thing happens.
Oh, wait, time out. Everybody pause. What that's called right there, what Mark just did, is high professional move. It's called a segue. It's unbelievable. I have it right here, like 3 things to talk to Dan about. Stafford, Harbaugh, Ross. And oh my God, no wonder he was flashing and he's floor directing. Sorry, man.
Hey, listen. That dude's a seasoned professional right there. Look, you know what? That's an interesting point, Mark, because there seemed to be, let's go back before the Flores thing broke, there seemed to be kind of this feeling where people started to say, hey, maybe if he's going to go to the NFL anyway, then Ross will say, I'm going to bring him to Miami.
Yep.
If he's going to go anyway, even though I said I'd never take him from Michigan, if he's going to go anyway, then maybe he'd want to come with me. And I was asking people about that. People were like, yeah, there might be something to that. So I don't know. Now, obviously, that situation in Miami is toxic. So, you know, anybody that goes there better be ready for some rough times. And that's not a move that a Jim Harbaugh would want to make. But it would have been interesting to see how that might have played out, Mark. And if, in fact, Ross would have come back around to maybe say, okay, then maybe you are my guy if you're definitely leaving.
Let's do this. Karen, you handle the race part of Ross.
Oh, that's racist, Charlie. Why? Because I'm not
because I'm afraid to talk about black things.
Yeah, right.
I don't need people clipping and taking me out of context, even though I am black. Because I don't know as much about that as I. My question is more about the gambling, but yours is, you know.
Well, and certainly, you know, the NFL brought in Jay-Z. That was supposed to be some show or sign of commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, you know, for the league. And now the issue with Flores and the accusations that are coming as a result. What does this do for him, his career, and certainly the NFL, if anything at all?
And give a primer, Dan, as to what we're talking about, if you don't mind.
Flores, Brian Flores, the former head coach of the Miami Dolphins, is suing the NFL, and I don't want to get the language wrong here, for racial bias in hiring, claiming, among other things, and I'm paraphrasing here, that he was offered $100,000 a game by Dolphin management to lose so they could tank for Joe Burrow. claiming that he had a text exchange with Bill Belichick, which is public now, that Belichick was congratulating him on getting a job, but he thought he was talking to Brian Dable, and Flores was still going to interview for the job and hadn't even interviewed yet. And apparently, from what Belichick seemed to be indicating, that the Giants had already made up their mind as to what coach they were going to hire. And again, they hadn't even hired Flores yet. So that's the recap of it. Karen, if you're asking me what it does for his career, I think clearly he made the decision that he didn't, at this point, care about his career as much as he cared about changing what he views as the inequity in the hiring process in the NFL. Because I think this does make it more difficult for an NFL team to hire him while he is in the midst of suing entities around the league. I think that's a decision he clearly made in filing this, was that, I know this may not help me, but I believe it will help people coming after me if I can prove my case and get this more out in the open.
So it becomes a Kaepernick of the coaching ranks.
Well, not even Kaepernick. Kaepernick never said anything. He took a knee.
But whatever. Come on, we just stop with the parsing.
He's being blackballed.
No, but I'm saying,
he spoke with his actions.
There are very specific, detailed accusations that Flores is making. I mean, Kaepernick took a symbolic knee to stand against police brutality.
He did more than that. He did more than that. He did more than that, and you diminish him when you say that.
Well, I'm not diminishing it. I'm saying let's not mix up the two. But look at what happened to. Well, look at what has
mix
happened
up anything I goddamn well want to mix up. Wait a minute. I'm living in USA. Now I can say, Dan's like, wait a minute.
I told you Dan's going to hang up and say, hey, I lost a connection.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Karen.
Well, can I ask Dan another?
No.
I'm done. I'm out here.
Yeah, go, Karen. Karen wasn't finished. I did bad.
I am finished. I mean, but the thing about it is that for me, I look at the league. It is an old boys network, like so many other industries, so many other corporations. There is no African-American ownership. There is one African-American coach, while 80% of the players are Black. And at some point, there are things that go on. I don't doubt that. I mean, that is the league, like, again, so many other industries. But how do you change it if you don't speak up and speak out? But the reality is that, will this really make a difference, or will the NFL, resolve? They'll, come to some type of resolution, pay him off. We won't hear from him again, and everything goes back to normal.
Let me do this, Dan. To me, the other issue, and maybe even bigger in terms of
the NFL's eyes.
No.
Oh.
The sanctity of the sport,
sure.
and where this league's going to go. Ross, right?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell's his first name?
Stephen
Ross. Big developer. Flores alleges that Ross offered him $100,000 for every game that he threw. Should Ross lose his club, and what kind of damage does this do to the NFL, since a lot of its popularity is based on gambling?
I think clearly there's going to be an investigation into this, and I think everything would be on the table. We've never, help me, have we ever seen a situation, if this allegation was proven to be true, where you had an owner demand that his team lose? Now, look, we've seen tanking. We've seen, that's why the NBA came up with the lottery, because they thought that the Houston Rockets had tanked in the mid 80s to get a higher draft pick. And we ended up with the lottery at that point. But this would be the most overt thing that I think I can remember. And correct me if you guys have something else. If in fact we find out that an owner offered a head coach money for every game that he lost to improve their draft position, because that cuts to every gambling, and everything else that we think of as being part of professional sports and sports in general, is that when people sit down to turn on a game, or people pay money to go see a game, that they're going to see that team at least perform with the intent to do their best, the coaching staff with the intent to do their best. Go back to last year. People were angry when the Texans were winning game late and the Lions were winning games late, because it was altering their draft position. So it's kind of a conversation that goes both ways. But when you start bringing ownership into it, I wouldn't even know what the league would do at that point if this were proven to be true, because it would be just cut to the core of everything that they are supposed to be built on. And that would be, again, if you can think of something that parallels this, have at it, because to me, this would be one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
Do you think the NFL looks for an African American group to buy the Denver Broncos? Is that one way?
What are you doing?
Well, no, I just
Denver Broncos.
Is that they're for sale? Is that one way they try?
Why can't it be an individual?
Well,
They're
because it's never just an individual.
Cut. United States of Benetton speaking now.
It's never just an individual.
United States of Benetton speaking now.
Yes, sir.
Let me just speak sense.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. If you want to buy it, get a group of people together and make a bid.
I agree, but that's what I'm wondering. Will the NFL try to?
Why the fuck am I talking about the goddamn Denver Broncos?
It's part of the Flores suit.
Oh.
Strike that from the record, Your Honor.
We'll fix that in post. Okay, remove the screen.
I got too much to fix.
I'm over here.
It's in post, Mark.
All right, never mind. I don't care.
Scrap it.
No, it's my program. My name on it.
Text me your answer later, Dan.
Okay, breaking news. Dan?
I got you, Mark.
Dan Miller, voice of the Detroit Lions, with the exclusive Super Bowl pick. Not only the pick, but should you take the line? All right, Dan, tell us how to gamble.
I like the Rams to win this one. I think they finished this thing off. I think Cincinnati's had a charmed season. There is a part of me, even as I was watching Cincinnati going to the AFC Championship, I was talking to somebody and I said, you know what, these young teams that get started, you never know it's their time until it is their time. And you say, dang, it should have seen that coming. And they did it against Kansas City. So I'm not counting them out. But if you're asking me which way I would go in this game, I think Los Angeles, with their experience, their defense, Stafford, the way he's playing right now, Cooper Kupp playing as well as any receiver has played probably since Calvin had his record-setting season. I just think it appears to be the Rams' time, so I would take the Rams in this game.
What's the score?
What's the spread?
We're gonna get to that.
What
next.
is it, 3.5 right now or something like that?
Yeah,
I think it's
3.5.
3.5.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably take the Rams something 27-17, 30-17, something along those lines. I think if they play the kind of game they're capable of playing, and honestly, a lot of that comes down to Stafford not making some of the mistakes that we've seen this year with the pick sixes and stuff like that. If he gives Cincinnati easy scores and reasons to believe that they're in this game and it could be their time, then it becomes a different situation. But if he keeps this thing close to the best and they play the way they're capable of playing, I don't necessarily know that it's any better than a 10-point game.
LeDuff's expert analysis from his basement, where I get to smoke in the tool room and look out across the basement at the TV. The Bengals have a porous offensive line. They are studs up front in LA. Look for a repeat of Kansas City, Tampa Bay last year. I'm calling this baby 31-17.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think it's a double-digit game if the Rams play the way that they're capable of playing. But you know what? That's why you roll it out there and play, and it's going to be fun to watch. And
Absolutely.
These will be the brightest lights Stafford has ever played under, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. I'm anxious to see.
I really want my brother to win this one. I do.
Me
Look,
too.
all of you douchebags, and you're not. You you just carried away. He's one of ours. Anybody that's one of ours, I want to win.
He's a good guy.
Look,
Unless I'm playing against
here's
him.
what I'll say about Matthews. I've spent a ton of time with him, and most often we would do our interviews on Mondays after games, and I would see the toll that the previous game had taken on him, whether he limped in, fell into a chair, bruised up, battered up, bandaged up, all that stuff. I know what he's put into this. I know how much he cares about it. So while I do admit it is bittersweet, because I wanted it to happen with me on the call, I wanted it to happen for these fans. I wanted it to happen for Detroit.
Oh my God! Wait. I got it, bro. Ready? No, seriously. You're youngish. If you ever watch YouTube and you want to watch like English Premier League and you can't get it, they've got like two goofballs watching it, and calling it. So you actually just watch a guy watching the game. You could do it.
Yeah, get Lomas.
Oh, I think.
Oh my God, no!
Let me
If
tell you something. I
you
think
did like
that
Facebook
is,
Live,
to me, one of the. I would love to do that after my career is over and I can say anything I want to say. I would love to just be able to be on Sirius satellite radio or something like that, where you could watch a game with people and just, what the blank is that? And just, do Mystery Science Theater watching a football game and just have fun. That would be a blast. And I think people would love
I think you
that.
should do it this week.
But
Now we gotta
I'm sure there'd be copyright issues and everything else.
Yeah,
but
you just watch it.
Listen, Charlie, I'll be sitting on the couch right back there and I'll call the game to myself. Look, if he
coming
wins
over.
it, I will be very happy for him. I know what he's put into it. He's a good dude, man. And he's endured a lot to get to this point.
I will call you when you put it on speakerphone so I can just listen to Dan Miller like eating nachos and
As
shit.
long as I call it for somebody, even you, Charlie, I'll call him. I'm ready
By
to
the
go.
way, this is for Isabel. Dan, who's the greatest Latin football player in the history of the NFL?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I got that motherfucking racist.
I got one. How about Munoz?
Munoz.
I was going to say Anthony Munoz, probably.
Yeah, gotta be the tackle from.
I mean, he's one of the greatest tackles to ever play. So
Greatest Hawaiian?
Sure.
Greatest Hawaiian.
The guy with the hair.
Tua tag.
Polamalu?
I can't even
Junior
pronounce.
Seau?
There you go.
Seau.
Junior Seau. There you go.
Okay, the greatest Native American.
That's a great.
Plunkett?
Oh, there you go. Was he Native American?
Johnny Six Killer?
Tony Gonzalez. Where does he fit in
Oh,
this?
Tony Gonzalez.
That's correct.
He was
Jim
he was a nice guy. I had the
Jim
opportunity
freaking
to
Thorpe.
did the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Case
I had
closed,
the
Dan.
opportunity to work with him when Detroit hosted the Super Bowl. Very nice guy.
Who was
Jim
that?
Thorpe?
Gonzalez.
Oh,
Tony
yeah,
Gonzalez.
yeah. Pro.
Okay. The greatest,
Total pro.
The greatest Arab.
Ali Haji Sheikh.
He was good. What about Salah?
Oh, the coach?
He's the greatest coach.
Yeah.
It's a universal worldwide game now.
I know. It's really cool,
Really
actually.
though, Charlie? Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, it's getting there.
The greatest African, not African American.
Christian Okoye. The Nigerian Nightmare.
See?
Look at Mark.
There's got to be someone better than that.
The greatest Asian.
The kicker for the Falcons right now.
Okay, come on. I
can't think of his name.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, Dan, you failed that.
I wasn't prepared.
I don't know.
for that.
I wasn't either.
Nobody's got to be
I
prepared.
hadn't done my.
Wait,
my
somebody's
background
asking, what
of
about
the-
Asian? What's the best Asian player?
Just said hello. What's it on
I'm just
time
asking,
delay?
if you're gonna start naming all these different, you gotta include everybody. That's the danger.
I said
of
that,
it.
but then I corrected, said East Asian because Asia's huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know
It's more
what?
than three.
You're right. You do have to go through, and then somebody's going to get in trouble because they're going to assign a nationality or an ethnicity to somebody that they don't have.
Yeah. Sorry. It's always for love. All right.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Dan Miller.
Half my job, Charlie, coming on here was just getting through this thing.
You did well.
That's every week.
Well. I love you, man. Thank you for your time.
You too.
A lot of
Thanks,
respect.
guys.
I
Appreciate all of you. Be good.
Good seeing you. Take care.
You
Bye.
You too, guys.
No better football
He's the
analysis than that.
best.
He's the best.
You know why, too? He's got a good personality.
Yeah, he's an incredible human being.
But Charlie, it was crazy. I believe I was in the airport and somehow, I don't know, I ended up talking to somebody else from Detroit and their whole thing was like, oh my God, that's where Dan Miller is. Do you know Dan Miller? And I mean, he was just, I said, guys, calm down. He was a huge fan.
Okay. Let me little off. I'm gonna make a call to Issam Bazi and his brother Wissam. Issam is on the terror watch list. He was picked up at the border, released, and he's living in Dearborn waiting for his asylum hearing. I spoke to him this week, and they said they would join us. Isabel Jones is with us to interpret because they're born in Lebanon. His brother speaks English, but his other brothers speak Spanish because one moved to the United States, one moved to Venezuela when they were like 20.
Wow.
After the Civil War. Okay, so tell us about Hall Financial. And let me see if I can figure out this phone.
Well,
Because here's the setup. He's staying in a nice little Cape Cod. Nice, tidy little outfit on a tree-lined street in Dearborn.
You broke the story last week, yeah.
And if you're looking
for your own little Cape Cod, wherever it
on
may
a
be,
tree-lined street,
the thing you want to do is call Hall First. The website is Call Hall First. Can we let David take it away? Because since I don't have any copy in front of me.
Yes.
Thank you. Take
Hi,
it
I'm
away.
David Hall from Hall Financial. Choosing between a 15 or 30-year mortgage can be difficult, which is why we offer the Modern Mortgage, a flexible term that's customized for you. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
What a pro. That's the way to do it.
mortgage rates are likely to change. How many times I got to tell you that? So let me see here.
And if you're going to buy, honestly, call them first and then figure out what you can do, how much you can get it for. Yeah, I can hear.
Let's see here. I dial 1.
You're
Right?
yeah. Just a regular phone.
No, I never used the freaking phone down here. You notice you don't use ones on cell phones anymore?
No, I know.
Well, then why were you busting balls, man?
Because I rarely get the chance to.
Hey, you guys, when you have company, be nice.
See, the Bozzi brothers keep their word to me. The whole world wants to know. Somebody called me too.
Oh.
It's 2:09.
And thanks, Karen.
Please leave your message for 3-1.
Oh, nice one. Let me try him on this one. Cause
Good. Now you got to end that. Yeah.
yeah, here we go. Let me talk to this guy.
Fix it in post, Mark.
What's that?
Fix it in post.
Too many things. I'm not fixing any of it.
Let me see here. Let's try this again.
Who doesn't like a show with a little mistake, right?
A mistake.
Yeah, real one.
That's what makes it move. It was nice having Isabel here, regardless. So
Thank you.
She's actually good.
she's really good. Yeah.
That's why you guys should be nice so she'll come back.
Are we being nice enough, Isabel?
Yes, I got a glass of water.
Oh, well, that's all it takes.
That's it. That's all they gave you, Isabel. Water. Come on, guys.
Do you want a beer? We got plenty of that.
No, they're being polite. I appreciate that.
Okay, good. If not, let me know. I'll get them in order. I'll try.
Okay, thanks.
Now, I know Charlie had talked to him earlier this week, as he mentioned off the top of the show. I'm dying to get the follow-up to this guy. And if you didn't hear about it, check last week's episode. Of course, they're all up on the website.
All right.
It would be interesting to get his side of the story.
One more time. Because if you gave me your word,
Charlie,
and you want to be in my country, and you're on a terror watch list, and you're not going to return my call, I'm not going to like you very much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could have just said no.
That's right. I mean, keep your word, man.
Is Isabel getting a Coney kit?
She had a Coney.
Oh, that's even better.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys are really good at this. Improv.
What, killing time?
Yeah.
It's the American way.
Yeah, lots of experience of killing time.
It's good. It was a good one.
Why would you be on there? I know that you had a interview with immigration this week. Why are they still letting you hang around? Did they bring it up? What led you to believe like it was better to cross the Rio than to fly in on an airplane? And since you could obviously fly. All right.
Please leave your message.
No dice.
Here's what we're gonna do, guys. Wissam, you hear me? You'll see me this week. Got my word on that. Okay. Oh, you got my word on that.
Do you want to fill us in on anything you talked to him about this week? You said he went.
I don't know why. I don't know why I'm on the list. I don't know why my brother's on the list. We left Lebanon when he was 20 years old. I don't know why he would be on a terror list.
But you said he had a
He's
meeting.
a good guy. The reason he came over here was a cousin of ours in Caracas was murdered. They robbed the store. It's just too out of control. And I said, well, that happens in Detroit every day.
That's interesting, though. You said he went to immigration, though. You had a meeting with him.
That's when I called Isabel because then the Spanish got really complicated. Apparently, the wife, because Issam got to bring his wife and child as well, and she had an appointment with whatever agency it was. I don't know if it was ICE, Homeland Security. I don't know what it was, right? But apparently they went, they had a talk, it's no problem, and he was allowed to go home. I don't know if it was the FBI. I don't know who it would be.
Wow. Okay.
But a lot of holding up the hands, what did I do? I said, what did you do? What did you do?
Yeah, till you tell us.
I mean, what did you do, dude? You come in proper. You got money.
Yeah.
You flew to Monterey. Why didn't you just... Because what happened 2 years ago, he tried to get a travel visa. Tourist visa. And they flagged him being on the terror watch list. So this didn't just happen. They saw him and nope, denied.
Do you think he's generally confused as to why he's on the terror watch list, or do you think he has an idea?
He could be surprised.
Well, the fact that he's willing to go to immigration now, he's being proactive about it.
Dude, you're going to go to fucking immigration because they called you in because you're on the fucking 10 o'clock news.
Yeah.
Because the Caracas papers, I just got the text here. Here, hold on a second. What's this say? Oh,
¿Está en español?
it's in español. It's in el periódico de Caracas.
This is like a scripted reality show.
What is?
Podcast. I mean, I like it. We get to, everything is so real and in real time. It's like a reality show.
Not our fault the guest didn't show up.
No, and that's okay, but that's part of it. And I'm saying people get to see it a lot of times when you see and hear things, everything's so smooth because everything's been covered over, everybody's pivoted or, made up for it. This is the reality of doing a live show.
I mean, we could always get Dan back on and have him answer my Broncos question.
Isabel, what's the headline say?
It says, Issam Bassi is innocent. They have him in the prison.
He's innocent. The process says he's innocent.
Issam Bassi, inocente? And what is solicitante?
Solicitante.
Solicited.
De asilo.
What's an asilo?
I believe is the jail.
Okay. Presunto terrorista Venezuela.
Is like what you said, supposed to be
so they're asking the question,
terrorist.
is he a terrorist or is he innocent?
Why is it such a hard question to figure out?
Is that what he's asking?
But who are they asking?
What is he doing in the United States?
Yeah, that seems to be what everybody
Yeah.
wants to know.
I just read it in Spanish and I'll interpret. Okay.
¿Esta es la persona?
This person?
So, Issam Bassi, inocente, solicitante de asilo o presunto terrorista venezolano en los Estados Unidos.
Is Issam Bassi an innocent guy who was mistaken identity or is he a terrorist in the United States?
Right.
Okay.
Con un número sin precedentes de personas atrapadas ingresando ilegalmente en los Estados Unidos. So he just came in here illegally.
Yeah.
Exacto. Okay, you want asylum, why?
A través de su frontera de sur.
Did they actually talk?
¿Cómo es el nombre de este periódico?
De este periódico.
Simón.
Dice noticias.
Noticias de... Just noticias?
Parece ABC, pero no estoy segura.
ABC?
Puede ser ABC.
Okay, ABC. It's ABC in Venezuela. They're onto it. So we want to know, dude. And you gave me your word. So...
Charlie, if he's a crook, do you really think his word has much value?
I don't know. I don't look. Because, look, it goes like this. Let me be a human.
Okay.
Maybe, look, I don't know. There's very serious information in his classified file. It's called high derogatory information. I can't get it. I don't know. Maybe it's happened before. You shouldn't be on this list. All I know is this. You are on this list.
Yeah.
You came over on a raft. They found you. The rules of the country are you don't get in. If you're mistakenly on it, you go back to Caracas. You file a protest, and you see if you can get in.
Right.
Yeah, from there.
Okay,
yeah.
so you can present to me, please, the people. That's weird. Okay, we might like you a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you bullshit me.
One of the things that can happen is that if the person is under pressure and fear. They're not going to be sure who to talk to and how much. Because when I've done some cases in court, they're just afraid. They're like, who do I trust? You know, who is really going to help me? And then they might be afraid that because this is the channel news that is going to go all over the world, podcasts and so forth, they might feel that what if the government really denies us because of this?
Yeah.
You are an interpreter in immigration court, aren't you? In all kinds of legal proceedings. Yes?
No, I'm not.
What?
I just help people. I interpret for people when they're in jail, when they're in court, whatever needs to be
I
interpreted.
didn't know that. Oh, you're a fucking player. You know interesting things. I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you.
No, the culture that you see within our culture is all of our culture. Yes. Absolutely.
Right.
We're just people here.
Yes, exactly.
This is great. Well, you will come back.
Thank you.
You'll be friends with the show?
Sure.
Will you be the official interpreter
I
of the
can.
No Bullshit News Hour?
I can do that.
Fucking
All right. Well,
Who's got that?
there's a victory.
Does Fox 2 got that?
No.
No. Does Whitmer have that with the sign language person?
I don't think
No.
Is there Spanish sign language different than English sign language?
No creo. I don't think so.
Because I don't believe.
I don't think so.
I don't think so because letters are letters. Whatever language.
And words,
Oh,
yeah.
letras son letras.
Sí.
How'd you like my pronunciation?
Está mejor.
Close your eyes. Porque letras son letras.
Sí.
I'm just like I'm standing in Barcelona.
Exactamente.
Almost,
Nomás que
Charlie.
tienen un-
You just wanted to pronounce it Barcelona.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
¿Te gusta el castellano, el español de castellanos? Okay.
You know what she said?
What?
Nunca. Okay, so let's take this out. I understand, Mr. Bazzi. As you know, no hate here. Want your side of the story? You might need it.
Yeah. Are you scared or are you hiding?
Oh, dude, you're all over the freaking Western Hemisphere now.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we go, I just want to give Mark a moment to recall dear, sweet Ashley Lagata.
I already did.
We'll do it again.
I'm going to miss that cat. I know it's just a cat, but it's my cat. She's part of our family.
Tell me
I'm
something.
not going to cry. You're not gonna make me
Would
cry.
she crawl up and lay on your chest?
Would
I'm
she?
trying to get him to cry, Karen. Hold on a second.
No.
No, I said condolences. I mean,
Thank
a
you.
pet is a family member.
Oh,
and so
absolutely.
he doesn't need to keep reliving it. We're going to give you a group hug.
Thanks,
Everybody's
Karen.
off-
That's
condolences.
called condolences. I want some
Thank you, Karen.
tears.
Thank you, Karen.
No.
Wait a minute. Now, wait.
You're not going to break me.
Was this the kind of cat that would follow you around? You come home.
Yeah, no, she would. I'm not going to fall in this trap because this is the one thing that made me cry. Was thinking about how when all the madness, meaning my two kids, went to bed, she would come down and sit with me on the couch, like, thank God those monsters are away. Now we can watch some TV and hang out together. So.
Would she lay in your lap, or
No, she would sit on the floor right in front of me.
and did she have that
great
that,
cat.
that rhythmical purring?
Oh yeah, she's a big old fat cat. I loved her, man.
Did you scratch her like in the ears? Of the
Everywhere,
Charlie.
everywhere.
Charlie.
You're not going to do it now.
This is cruel.
Too far gone.
This is cruel.
It's okay.
Stop.
And when did you? What was it like the last moments? When did you know?
You're like those social media trolls when people die. Stop.
This is Karen's version of
tell you.
fingers in the ear. No.
It was fucking awful, is what it was.
Tell me about it.
No. No. Let's move on. Don't do it, Mark.
Anybody
no.
that's put a pet down knows how awful it is.
No. Don't do that, Charlie. That's like when people say, oh, I lost my aunt. What happened? What do you mean what happened? She died. That's it. Let it go. Let's go. Let's move on.
No, because if we let it go, then it's gone.
Should just make
The
a
way you
better
keep them
story.
alive is to speak of them.
And that's fine, but you speak in a manner
Why are
that's
you yelling over me? I just want to help my friend, Karen.
Then stop dragging it out and making him feel bad. I love Mark. I don't want to see him sad.
Well, you know what happens? He goes home. He opens the door. She's not there.
Déjalo en paz porque es una
And there's a feeling
cosa
of emptiness.
personal.
Una otra vez.
Déjalo en paz porque es una cosa personal de Marcos.
Thank you. It is very personal to me.
Lo siento, man. No hay.
Dripping with
La
sincerity.
gata no hay.
Yeah, she's not here today.
I'm home.
La gata bajo la lluvia. Sí hay.
Do you have that feeling? Have you had it? When did you put her down?
Monday night.
Have you seen her in the corner of your eye and she's not there?
Déjalo en
I'm gonna
paz,
hang
por
up. This is
favor.
not nice.
Constantly.
Yeah,
I'll
ponte
answer them all
en paz.
constantly.
There's other people dealing with this, Karen. If they can get some guidance from Mark and know they're not alone.
Yeah, it sucks. Constantly keep looking for her.
Have you accidentally poured food for her?
No.
Charlie.
Nope.
I am so disappointed in you. I am. This is cruel and unusual punishment. Don't answer any more of his questions, Mark.
All right. Thank you. That's my legal counsel.
Okay, well, it was great. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Assam. Thank you, Isabel.
Isabel Navarro.
Isabel Navarro?
Sí.
¿Por qué tu mensaje
Porque así
dice Jones?
Ese es mi nombre por ahorita, pero antes de casarme.
Oh, it's tu nombre gobierno.
Sí.
It's her government name.
Yeah.
No, it's my after when I got married.
You mean in
My maiden last name is Navarro.
Navarro. Y no tengo un esposo ahora.
No.
Divorcio.
Sí.
Bueno.
Sí.
And listen, a question.
You don't have to answer his questions either.
Do you, when you go home, do you sometimes see your husband walking around and
All
he's
right,
not there?
that's it. Enough.
Yeah,
Enough.
put him down.
You see your daddy walking around? He walking.
Okay. No, this is so long, Ashley. We'll see you in kitty heaven. This is for you, girl.
Oh, Senor, Don Gato was a cat on a highway road. Don Gato sat. He went there to read a letter, meow, meow, meow. Where the reading light was better,
Meow, meow, meow.
was a love note for Don
For
Gato.
Ashley.
I adore you, know, a lady cat who was fluffy, white, and nice and fat. There was not a sweeter kitty
Meow, meow, meow.
in the country or the city.
Meow, meow, meow.
And she said she'd wear
For Ashley.
from Gato jumped so happily.
Look how pretty she is.
She is.
The roof and broke his heel, broke his ribs and drove his whiskers. Meow, meow, meow. And his little solar plexus.
Meow, meow, meow.
I cut out the time from back home. Then the doctors all came on the run, just to see if something could be done. And they held a consultation, meow, 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 about how to save their patient, meow, meow, meow. How to save Senor
Don Gato.
Okay, she can rest now.
Everything they tried.
Parte favorita.
Senor, Don Gato up and died. Oh, it wasn't very merry, meow, 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 going to the cemetery, meow, 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 for the ending of Don Gato. When the funeral passed from Market Square, such a smell of fish was in the air. Though his burial was slated, meow, 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 he became reanimated, meow, meow, meow. He came back to
Live. Don Gato. It's over?
Yeah, that was the end of it.
John Vaughn just called.
Yeah?
Yeah. Should I call him back?
Sure. John Vaughn, who had been camping out outside President Slishel's house. Is it ringing?
One of the victims of Dr.
Anderson, which was just settled. And then he was on Dr. Phil.
Yeah, he asked me to go on with him. I was like, fuck no.
Yeah, it was a rough one. I don't know if you would have fit with the other panelists.
Hey, John, you there?
Yes, sir.
I got you on the air. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's okay. I guess. Too late now.
Well, I can take you off, brother. Shit.
All right. How you doing, man?
I'm good. What you calling about, bro?
Well, I was like, who do I know that has a Pulitzer? And I needed some advice because I've got this op-ed that I've written, and I was going to talk to you about, how do I get something like this published, and who do I talk to? But I want to go national and local.
Okay, so what'd you say? I got a what?
Pulitzer Prize.
Oh, no, I have a Pulitzer.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
But I can find someone that has a Pulitzer.
That's my country language saying Pulitzer.
No, I don't know what it's called. I actually don't know what it's called. But yes, what I'm gonna do here is get a hold of you and help you get that done. Okay. So the long story is what? It's not over.
Okay. What I'll do is, hey, shoot me your email. I think I have it, but shoot me your email so I can let you take a look at the final version, and then we strategize.
Yeah. Now let me do this. Just for the listening audience who doesn't, what is it about? Like your dispute with the university is not over. Is that about right?
That and there's just been since the surgery, the firing, all that stuff. I just haven't had the strength to respond to a multitude of places, and I want to just do it. This is my words. This is my feelings.
Let me give a little tease here. You want to know what happened to your semen that they took?
Well, I'm.
That's naked and cold, dude. That's naked and cold shit to say, but that's really, that's shocking to me, man.
Well, yeah, but it's not just mine. There are others.
I know.
I talked to one of my friends, and one of the first things he said after the settlement was, JV, the fight's not over because we still have answers. We want to know where our DNA is.
Word. All right, look, I'll call you back. Give me a few hours. And look, are you in the trailer still in front of the former president's house?
No, I haven't been cleared yet by the doc.
He had his cancer surgery.
How did it go?
But I should be there sometime next week.
Oh, you're gonna be? I'll be out there with you. Maybe I'll bring the old Corona typewriter. We'll bang this bitch out. I'll call you today, and if you have a little extra room in your heart, I know you're going through a lot. If you could say a word or two, to the big man above about my friend Mark's cat Ashley.
Stop it! That pales in comparison.
There you go.
Thank you. Her name's Ashley with a Y.
All right.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Love you, dude. Talk to you. Okay. There you go. What, Karen?
Nothing, Charlie. That is cruel.
Prayers are not cruel. This is where Karen's starting to get mad at me now. This is like everybody take a screenshot.
I'm not mad, so it's all
I
good.
do not approve. Okay, wait. No, can we get T-shirts? We got T-shirts for the public now, right?
Yeah, but they're not available to buy yet.
What the fuck?
I know, it's crazy.
I don't even have a T-shirt.
I know.
Okay, and I want a picture. Karen like that, scowling. I do not approve.
That's a good one.
I love you, Karen.
I love you too, Charlie. And Mark, I love you. And you too, Joey. And hugs and prayers for Ashley. Let's keep her in memory.
Oh, don't do that. You're just trying to get him to cry.
No, I'm not. I want him to. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Ay, Canta no llore. Let me sing Don't Cry, people. Sing Don't Cry. Sing about the life of Ashley. Later.
Bye.